anyone in any shape, form of life to come and gain the knowledge and wisdom for what spirituality really has to offer.
Hello everyone, welcome to your Advance Your Crystal Knowledge in less than an hour with Gemma Petherbridge. We're so happy to have you here with us this evening. I'm your host, Rosalind Moody. I'm the programmer for Mind Body Spirit Festivals. We're currently gearing up for our festival very soon at the NEC Birmingham on the 14th to the 16th of November, which is going to be our 10th birthday in Birmingham. We're actually about to step into our 49th year overall. So it's a very exciting time for us. If you're new to Mind Body Spirit Festivals, if you came through Gemma's Crystal Mystery School, for example, here's a little bit about us. Our festival is the UK's most established, popular, holistic health and wellbeing event. We bring together the foremost authorities, best-selling authors, pioneers and leading organisations in the diverse areas of spirituality, natural health, complementary medicine, eco-living, alternative technology, personal growth, and so much more. Our 3 and 4 day festivals attract up to 20,000 ethically minded visitors and showcase over 200 exhibitors, making it a really, really good place to make friends, meet people, enjoy, and embrace this world of spiritual, holistic well-being and personal development. We also run tours and events for household names like Paul McKenna, Ruby Wax, Krishna Das, and Till Swan, and they're always really, really good fun. You get a lot out of them. Now, you must be here tonight to learn about crystals, and there is so much to learn. You stick around to the end of our webinar tonight. You can see how you can get a free crystal kit and a free 3-day pass to our festival in November. What we're learning tonight is going to be a really good foundation for something we're presenting at the show on Friday, the 14th of November. We're actually running a foundation in crystal and crystal healing training course in person at the Mind Body Spirit Festival. We're so excited to be doing this part of our MBS Academy with Gemma. So stick around to the end of tonight and see how you can get £302 worth of value in one day. We'll share a QR code and promo code at the end of this evening. And if you can't wait till then, we're at mybodyspiritfestival.co.uk/Birmingham. So type crystal into the chat at any point tonight if you're interested in the course, and we'll send you the direct link. Now, you're here for crystals, so I thought I'd share the crystals I've got with me here, the crystal friends I've got. I've got some rose quartz, which I always wear, and a bracelet as well for self-love. I've got some amethyst to keep my intuition flowing, some carnelian for creativity. Have you got your crystals with you? What are your intentions for this evening? What are your intentions for Samhain, which is this Friday? I'm just going to give you a moment to think about what you might want to get out of tonight for yourself, for your present, for your future, for your soul. You never know what might come up. And if you're intrigued about the world of crystals, you're in the right place. We're here to learn about crystals with one very special lady. Gemma Petherbridge is going to be leading our foundation in crystals and crystal healing training at the show. And she's an Akashic Records reader, crystal author, and teacher. She's been working for 20 years in the spiritual development industry, first as a practitioner and then as an events organizer, supporting some of the biggest authors in the industry. In 2017, she launched Conscious Crystals, through which she guides people how to connect and use crystals to enhance and improve their lives. Her first crystal book, The Crystal Apothecary, launched worldwide in 2022. And in 2023, she launched an online practitioner school Crystal Mystery School, which has just won the best CMA training 2025 training school. So it's been a very exciting time for Gemma. And without further ado, I'll hand over to her and she can take it away for this evening. Here you go to Gemma.
Thank you, Roz. What a beautiful intro. Very, very grateful. Hello, everybody. Some faces, some names in the chat I definitely recognize straight away. But let me know, why is in the chat for yes, you've heard me speak before, or maybe I know you, and for this is the first time. If in either way, welcome. I'm very excited to be spending the next hour with you. Kind of a mix of ends and Ys. Brilliant. We've got a even amount in there. Next question, and then I'm going to jump into the slides. This always helps me understand where everybody's knowledge of crystals is. If you were going to scale what you know about crystals, and honestly, you do not need to know anything at this point. There is no pressure. Scaling your knowledge between 1 and 5. 1 being, this is maybe day 1, but you keep looking at them, you haven't purchased one yet, but you'd kind of like to, so we've got a 1 straight away, love that. 5 being probably in the industry, maybe a seller, maybe somebody like myself. And the numbers that are coming up, we've got a 5 in there, brilliant. That shot past me super quickly though, I missed it. We've got some 4s. So no matter where you are, hopefully on this scale, the next hour is going to be useful for you. Okay, so, and I do expect 1s and 2s, so please don't feel if that's what you've put that you're not going to understand. This content is useful for everybody. So let me share screen. We can dive straight in. What I will say is if you have questions, please try and hold them till the end so you can just stay focused on the content. There will be time for questions at the end. Fingers crossed, I might answer your question by then, but if not, then that is the moment to type them in. Roz is going to start asking me questions later on. So the plan is we have 1 hour, we're ticking into it already, to advance your crystal knowledge. What we are going to be covering is what some crystal collectors might be getting wrong. That is literally the first slide. Understanding crystals as energy tools. We're even going to see how they're amazing manifestors, how to pick the right crystal. We're going to do one way of, or actually 2 ways of doing that tonight. Why crystal healing works very, very well for people. We're going to have a little look at crystal elixirs. There is more to it, but we're going to cross them super quickly. Like Roz was saying, we are very much going to invite you all to join us at Mind Body Spirit, particularly at the foundation in crystals and crystal healing, which is a certified foundation. So that will be a certificate you will be getting afterwards if you want to join us. And like I was saying, there is time at the end for the Q&A. Now, Roz's intro was fab, so I won't say too much. You've already heard a lot from me. Okay, I've been in the industry for quite a long time, to be fair, from the word go, from a very, very young age. I was always intuitive. I was always interested in this work. I'm sure there are many of you like that. Still got a job in the city, still did all of that stuff, but course corrected and came back to this work at a fairly young age. I'm now an international speaker, an award-winning author. Up until this weekend, we were nominated for School of the Year because I actually run a accredited school, certifying people in things like crystal healing, Akashic records, Reiki, things like that. But as you've already heard, we were lucky enough to actually win that award. So this has been an amazing few days, and it's yes, and it's lovely now to share that with you guys and to share this evening. So again, why is in the chat for yes, this is you, and for no, who has a giant crystal collection? Maybe you don't necessarily know how to use them, and you might not know how you're drawn to them, but boy, do you love your crystals, or you want to. Some people in this group, without speaking for people, I imagine, you want to love them more than maybe you do, and it will suit you or serve you to understand crystals a little bit more, so you're allowed to justify that naughty purchase that you kind of want to do. Now, without going through and understanding the real knowledge of how crystals work, what happens in crystal healing, why humans resonate with them so well. We can make mistakes. These are not big mistakes. They can be for a few people. I'll explain why. But if we are not working with crystals correctly, they are energy tools, and us humans are energy as well. More about that in a moment. But what we can do is, for example, if we're displaying lots of crystals together like this, and I bet some of you are, two things can happen. Depending on your personality and the energy that you give off, because we all have different energies, it depends on our past lives, our current life situation, how we're brought up, what's happened to us in life, all sorts of different things. We all have a different frequency. Some of us will benefit from lots of different crystals around us. Others will find that very busy. And although you might be displaying crystals like that, if the room they're in feels busy, we might not put two and two together and realize it's the crystals. Soon as you maybe color coordinated them so the frequencies match a bit better, or you have one room per color, the whole feeling of your home may change. This will resonate with some. If it doesn't, if you have that display and it suits you, it's because it suits your frequency. Another good example where we might navigate crystals incorrectly is, look at this gorgeous necklace, guys. I mean, it's beautiful, right? It is absolutely stunning. It has a lot of energy to it though. We have a moldavite and we have Libyan desert glass and a meteorite. Two of those are tektites, and then we've got a meteorite. So they are galactic energies. They are literally, how I would phrase it is, they are alien, they bring in alien concepts, brand new ideas for us when we work with them, but that is because their energies are something we're just not used to for the most obvious reasons. With that, we've got a gorgeous Herkimer diamond, a very, very high frequency crown chakra crystal, just here, this one. That is going to amplify them. So, as much as that necklace, I would love to own it, I know that is actually too much energy for me. Yes, I teach about crystals. I am surrounded by them. I know if I wore that, it might give off, for me, the feelings of a little bit of nausea or a little bit of a headache. Some of you might resonate with that. But until you realize it's the crystal, you may not put two and two together. You might have those symptoms and not realize. So the point of courses like this is helping you, in classes like this, helping you realize you could bring that particular necklace in for the most amazing meditations to help you bring in these brand new concepts. But maybe for some people, wearing it would be hard. Yeah, so it's learning to use these frequencies at the right moment. Over here, we have the lab grown crystals. Some of them over, have I got the phone? No, I've got dyed crystals and coated crystals. Not that I'm against them, but again, the reason I've put these on here is these type of events help you realize that is going on. Some of you will love them, some of you will be drawn to them. That is brilliant, but it is about the awareness and understanding about what you're purchasing. That's why I've included those particular images. So let's dive in. Let me take you on this journey to hopefully helping you understand more about the crystals you currently have and maybe crystals you're thinking of purchasing in the future. So, why are crystals energy tools? This is key. If you're going to remember one thing about this evening, please try and remember this bit. There's no test, do not worry, but this is the bit that will be the most useful for you. Now, in essence, what I love about crystals and working with crystals is we tap into every possible theme, history, the different sciences, metaphysics, all sorts of stuff comes up. And at the moment, we are going back to the school days where we were all looking at the periodic table. Now, like I said, to really understand why crystals are so powerful, we've got to understand their makeup. They are, in essence, one or a mix of minerals that when we look at them under a microscope, they repeat the same way again and again and again. So when you look at the lattice structure of the atoms of a crystal, there is a repeating pattern, and it makes the most stable frequencies that are available to us. Yes, they can all look different. They all have different mineral content, but it's the frequency that I want you to remember today. Now, just so we know, sometimes there's a bit of crystal snobbery where we decide we don't like stones, we like crystals more. Still, compared to us humans with all our busy frequencies, which I'll allude to in a minute, stones are basically a collection of crystals that have formed together over thousands of years. That's a whole other topic. If I start going into the geology today, that's going to take us quite a way off course. But in essence, they have still very stable frequencies, a little bit more unstable because they are a combination of many different crystals, but that really is the only difference that is going on. Let's keep going. So hopefully this image, this little bit here in the middle, is going to help you understand what's going on. So we've got the crystal and we've got the atoms repeating in a very, basically the repeating pattern. You can see it in that graphic. Here, this frequency is known as the dominant oscillatory rate, is the classic stable normal frequency of this particular crystal. Under stress, and stress for a crystal is going to be bad mining, which is something I can talk about at the end if you want me to. Not necessarily in our industry and crystal healing, because they need to come out the ground beautifully perfect. That's more about lithium mining for cars, things like that. But yes, so even under stress, a crystal will get a tiny blip of a change and then very quickly go back into completely stable. Unlike us humans, I'm afraid, guys, I mean, it's no surprise, we already have multiple different frequencies because, say, our eyes are going to have a different formation to our hands, our nails, our feet, our organs. We need that. We need to look like the way we do. But even when we're not stressed and everything's good, there is a lot more frequencies going on. And then when we add in a stress state, and of course, again, especially compared to a crystal, there is many things that can happen to us that means our stress levels go up and down. And I'm sure you've all, I'm saying to the obvious that to get us back into a stable, relaxed state is a bit of a process sometimes. It is not necessarily what the crystals do. So straight away, we can appear more stressed than the crystals, but what can happen is when you bring a crystal close to you, you resonate with its energy and it changes your frequency and relaxes your frequency. Okay. Again, at the end, I can give some books that give that information, so you can look into that more if you would like to. And in essence, every crystal has a different frequency that has different properties to it that we can use. And that means you can choose crystals that remove things from your life that maybe you don't want, negative emotions, health issues that you're trying to support, or bring things in, manifesting. Crystals, in a way, are the first ever vision board, that focus point of something we want to bring in and interacting with the energies that are going to get us there. Now, the next few slides, I'm going to go through a little bit quicker than the average because knowing the demographic I'm talking to, I think many of you are going to be very familiar with these concepts. If I'm wrong, just say in the chat, yeah, and I can slow down a little bit. But in essence, the next thing to understand is why crystals are so powerful with us, how they help us. Now, although everything around us looks very physical, everything is actually vibrating. We are not physical beings at all. You know, this stat down here from the Interesting Engineering, I've deliberately chosen a non-holistic quote so you can see that they are agreeing with us, that we are actually more energy than we are physical matter. So we are vibrating as well. And we resonate, as I was saying in the previous slide, with other things that are vibrating. Now, we are all taught at school about the physical body and all of the different physical systems. So that's why I've got this image, just as a little reminder. Sadly, we are not taught about the energy body and all the different systems of the energy body. So some of those I have here. Back in the day, I learned Ayurvedic medicine. This is the illustration that my teacher offered, which I think is brilliant, showing the veils, the koshas. We've got the chakras, the meridian lines, and this is not the torus field, but it would look similar. This is actually the heart's energy field, but we could add the torus field, the aura in there as well. So, but the one to focus on with crystals is the chakras. If someone here doesn't know the chakras, let me know, just a little N or no, I don't know. I want to make sure moving forward, everybody knows the next things I'm going to say. Not expecting you all to know. But at the same time, knowing this audience, I wouldn't be surprised if many of you do. So with crystals, we often focus on the main 7 chakras. There are definitely crystals for the other less known chakras. If I went into those today, we'd be here for ages. Again, I can share a little bit more at another date if you'd like me to. But if you wanted to start to look at a crystal and get a very good idea of its use very quickly, understanding the chakras and their different properties will give you a really good baseline. In essence, the color of a chakra, so colors again, a frequency, are the same as particular properties of a crystal. So I'll say that a different way. So for example, the root chakra red, it's different colors of crystals, I will say in a minute, but all red crystals, the umbrella themes of all red crystals will fit into the themes of the root chakra. Okay. Yes, they sometimes have other themes as well, but loosely they fit into that because they are the same frequency. So once you start to realize, I know my chakras, I know how to, like, what the chakras mean and what energies, what issues in life can be stored in a particular chakra. When you go and purchase your lovely crystals, if you're drawn to a particular color, that will instantly give you some idea of why you're drawn to that particular crystal. We will keep going. Okay, so we are going to do a little demo. I've done this many times. Picking crystals. Yes, we are online. Sadly, we're not in a gorgeous crystal shop right now where you can enjoy all the different crystals, but I promise you this does work. The first thing to show you is how to pick a crystal. So hopefully you now understand you resonate with crystals when you need them, okay? There is this, we bring a crystal close to us and we literally, it raises our vibration to a nicer state and stabilizes us. That goes back to those slides a little while ago. That also means that when you go into a crystal shop, I bet you'll all resonate with this, and you're looking around the crystal shop, and this happens online as well, and one crystal literally, like, it's an energetic wave. You've got the whole shop and yet you focus on one crystal. That is because your energy body is resonating with that crystal. You need that energy. So one of the loveliest things about enjoying crystals is the one that you've fallen in love with is also good for you. So you're allowed to love the ones that you purchase. Yeah, they are all good for you. It's not just spending money for spending money's sake. There is more going on, which is always good. So with that in mind, I'm going to help you all pick a crystal. I'm going to show you the 2 main ways to do it very quickly because we don't have too long tonight, so that when we do the next slides, you've got a crystal in mind and maybe the energies in mind that you need right now. So I'm going to very quickly show you the next slide and come back to this one. So we're going to this slide, but I'm going to go back for a minute. 2 ways to pick a crystal. Always, always use your intuition. I literally write crystal books, so I should be saying, look in the crystal book, look in the property book, find the crystal that says good for sleep, get that one. That is very left brain. It is very analytical. Crystal books are written with most people in mind, but we are all different. We all have different frequencies, and it therefore might not be the perfect crystal for you. Using your intuition, though, will get you there. Okay, because when we actually have something going on in our lives that we really want crystal support for, probably the original cause of that thing is in the subconscious. So we need to go there. And the way to get there is your intuition. So, guys, I invite you all right now to just close your eyes for a moment. For a very good reason, I promise. It's just so, for one, you just disconnect from what I'm saying. Take some lovely breaths. So I'm going to invite everybody to have the intention that you're picking a crystal that you need at this moment in time. If there's something particular going on, maybe you want to pick for that thing. I would pick the easier things in life, okay, not big, big emotive things because it will bring in a stress state. I would sooner you learn the process, then we can support you with those bigger things. So probably just the crystal you need today. Keeping your eyes closed. Remembering what I said, not yet, but in a moment, you're going to open your eyes. You're going to look at all the crystals on this slide and you're going to pick whatever your eyes go to first is the one you need. Okay, so when you are ready, open your eyes. See who you're drawn to. Little caveat, because I know it comes up. If you look at one and you go, oh, I don't like that one, and then you go and look at another one, like, do not do that. Go back to that first crystal, okay? Because they'll have a clue. Yes, you can pick the second one as well, but clock the first one. So I'm going to go one slide on so you guys can write down the names of the crystal that's coming up. Little caveat there, that is called a, so the citrine is a burnt amethyst citrine. Okay, there are two types. Just so if you are loving these, be aware that's a burnt amethyst citrine. Basically, we're accidentally also making your shopping list for Mind, Body, Spirit when you get there, because you're going to know what crystals are suiting you right now. But that is you picking with your eyesight. It's probably 75% of people, that seems to be the right one. Yes, and please do put it in the chat, guys, if you want. It's interesting. Part of this work, it suits, like, if you know me, you know I always ask people to share in the chat because you realize, I think our minds always go to, oh, well, everybody must have picked that crystal. It's in the middle, so we all must have picked it. And it shows, no, we all have our own different experiences. So those who are sharing, thank you. We're going back again, okay? I'm going to go back to this one. Now, roughly about 25%-ish of people, every time I say that, I get it wrong. We end up with groups with loads of people liking this one and it goes wrong. But some people need to pick up the crystals. Do a little Y if this resonates with you. There is a chance you use your eyesight and then you get to a little part of the shop, there we go, and you need to pick up a few. But some you're not even going to make your choice until you have picked. For these people, so we're all going to do this just so you've had both experiences. Okay, prefer to pick up, exactly. Now, you've probably heard this concept before. Although these are images, they're still going to hold the frequency of the crystal enough that you can use it to pick the crystals, okay? So for you guys, I invite you to this is the whole group, so you can all have this lived experience. Hover your hands over the crystals one by one, even if you're on a tiny screen, just make sure your eyes are focused on the current crystal that you're testing out. And you're looking for probably a sensation in the hand, tickling, hot and cold. Maybe the body is going to do a yes, like you're going to feel a positive when it's the right one. I'm going to go quiet for a moment. It obviously takes you a bit longer to do this one. It's perfect timing for me to pour myself some more water. Okay. Hopefully people are there. So what I would suggest at this point, that's the two ways. Now, there will be people that use eyesight and picking up, but still, at least it makes you realize, oh, actually, I quite like both of these. Now, you've got two crystal choices, probably. They could be different. That is because you'll be good at one of these skills and maybe not as good at the other. Now, whatever skill you found was easier or you enjoyed more, hold on to that crystal pick. Okay, the one that felt more natural. If They both felt good. You could be someone who is a look at and then a pick up. That is absolutely fine. What I would say for now is pick the one that brings you joy. Third one was added this way. Third one was added. Love that. Okay. So hopefully everybody's got one crystal as we move forward now. And like I said, I'd add that to your shopping list when you get to the show for sure, because it's clearly one that is showing up for you. So why did you pick that particular crystal? So moving forward, I am going to hopefully help you answer that. Little flag up here. So to really understand how powerful and potent crystals are, we don't necessarily give them the credit they deserve, because when we're around them, things can feel quite subtle and easy. Now, definitely my crystal students in the past, they're studying crystal healing, but they'll look back over the 3 months that they are doing the course and they will see that things have improved in their lives, because crystals work subtly, they work very kindly, but change happens. And as humans like that, we might think that we like to throw all balls in the air and make giant change all of a sudden, but actually that's a bit of a stress state we're not great with. That's a sweeping statement, I know, but I'm sure you all resonate. What's really interesting about this slide though is it shows, so here we've got the emotional scales that humans can experience, and you can see the very difficult, most dense energies, the shames, the guilts, the regrets, the hurts, the vibration of those is very, very dense. And then as we move up the scale, we get to joy, which is one of the highest vibrations a human can feel. You can see the difference is very dramatic. And this is one of those gorgeous self-development lessons. As we're having a hard day, if we just start to course correct our emotions, we can make great change quite quickly. But what you will see is our emotions are measured in hertz, but crystals work in megahertz. So although we feel they work kindly and easily, they are like a wash of beautiful energy that goes through us. Yeah, so we don't necessarily always feel it, but wow, they do a lot. Sequence of chakras. Marie, I think you're asking me, is this the same sequence? Sort of. It's a little bit out. So it's more just gorgeous rainbow colors. So don't hold on to the colors too much, and they don't match crystals. I've never been able to find one of these charts that matches up perfectly, but it's similar. What we go to though to match up is this beauty. So this is my ballerina that I've been showing people for years. She's my showcase of the chakras. Okay. Now I'm going to simplify this the best I can for everybody. This is reading the chakras up the body. So we've got a gorgeous flow of energy through the chakras that flows up. We've got another flow of energy that flows down. So the energy that flows up, basically chakras become available to us as we progress and grow through life. And then the energy coming down is a line of manifestation we'll get to in a moment. The energy going up connects to our emotions, so very, very relevant to us. And as, like I said, as we grow and age, more energies are available. Now, the energies around here are the ideal. Around our ballerina is a balanced chakras properties for each chakra. Yeah, a list of them. So have a look there, being aware of the crystal you've picked. Now, if you happen to have picked, let me just add to this because we need to add some extra colors. Root chakra includes black crystals, brown crystals, metallic, and earthy, as well as red. So you might need to add that in. And then heart chakra, no surprise, also includes pinks. Yeah, so just be aware of that. But what I'm going to ask you guys to do is consider the crystal you've picked and then look at the properties. So these are the ideals. But maybe because you've picked it, it could be that there are emotions that you're working through that mean a chakra is depleted, that is blocked, or overactive, that is too much energy in the chakra. We can go through that a little bit more later, and it's definitely what the foundation course is all about. But for example, if the energy you need a crystal because it's blocked, it's going to give you extra energy so you come into balance in that chakra. When you're in balance, you go from blocked properties to balanced properties. Where would pyrite go? Very good question. Root chakra down the bottom. So I recommend for this that maybe people screenshot. Okay, so I can't stay on any slide too long. So if you're like, oh, I like this and I want to think about it a bit more, I would screenshot. Emerald will be heart. Okay, let's keep going. Now, this is the one that I love. Third eye for amethyst, checking the time, so we're okay. Right, this one I like to share. It's a little bit different. Heads up, guys. This table is from my second book, Your Crystal Plan. So if you actually want this in a book form, it exists in the world for you. But I'm going to share it with you now very briefly. So again, considering your crystal, okay, I'm going to explain. We've got the ballerina. This time we are going down the chakras. And we're talking about manifesting when you're trying to achieve and bring things into your life. Okay, so we start at the crown, and the crown represents the ideas, the inspirations in the world, moments, aha moments that are available to us. It's a bit like channeling these amazing ideas. When we have the idea, though, it goes through to the third eye. But if you're somebody who never, ever, ever feels inspired, you probably need crown chakra crystals, which is white or transparent, to open up that crown so you can receive these amazing aha moments. Okay? At that point, when we receive the ideas, they come through to the crown. And in the crown, we receive these thoughts like, oh, I want to do this, or what if I do this, or I've had this business idea. Now, as a group like this, we probably get quite a lot of ideas. Yeah, we're probably quite open, quite psychic, so we get information quite a lot. The thing is, if you are getting lots of ideas and aha moments, a healthy third eye will be able to sieve out the most important ones. But if you're getting so many amazing ideas, it's a bit of analysis paralysis, you're not sure what to do, more purple in your life generally. But if you picked a purple crystal, it's probably giving you that hint. Yeah. Once you've got this lovely idea that you want to create or do, normally, so it goes to the throat chakra, communication. The first thing we communicate is to ourselves. Can I do this idea? Do I like this idea? Is it the right idea? And then we start to tell other people. Some people say their ideas, they're not committing to it, they're just saying it out loud. Now, our heart doesn't like that because we're not necessarily saying the truth, we're just playing with ideas. So if you find you say ideas a lot and you don't progress them, it's because when you do progress them is when you start to just speak your truth. So there's a bit of a difference. There is the collection of people who are just saying things out loud to problem solve. And there are people that actually end up homing in what they communicate to other people to exactly what they then plan to do. So if you're saying a lot of ideas and not progressing them, a little bit more blue, so it transitions over, then the heart, what happens after that is the heart can fall in love with ideas because it knows it's the truth and it knows it's going to happen. The idea goes from the throat to the heart. When it's in the heart, hopefully the heart falls in love with it, and it's so in love with it, it's got to be part of your life. It's gonna happen. But sadly, obviously you can imagine the heart goes through a lot. So the heart is green and pink crystals. The heart can go through an awful lot in life. If it's depleted because it's gone through a lot, it may fall in love with an idea and then fall out of love because it's hard to sustain that. So if you picked a green crystal and you're struggling with manifesting, it could be that the heart just wants some work and some support, and then things will change. If there is enough energy, it's in love with the idea, goes down to the solar plexus. Now, this is a classic one that I think everyone will be like, oh yeah, it's happened to me. The next three are the actual making process of the thing that you want to create. So solar plexus, yellow energy is day one of a project. If you procrastinate, if day one becomes day 10, if you feel imposter syndrome, if you suddenly get really tired, like I'm too tired, I'm not up for this, that is solar plexus. It's our confidence. So if you're not feeling confident enough in yourself, it can show up on those days. So bring in your yellow crystals, and it basically raises your vibration above these emotions because we might still feel them, but gives us the motivation to still do it. You've got sacral chakra. Sacral chakra, once you've got past that day one, the orange is pretty much the whole project. So if it's a big project, the poor sacral chakra has a lot to do. So it's willpower. It's the getting you over the finish line. And again, I think we can all resonate with the projects in life where we start something and it kind of gets a bit hard. Maybe you stop, or maybe there's a real slowdown. More orange and orange crystals will benefit you. Yeah. Then the final one, root chakra, which again with crystals isn't just red, it is black, brown, metallic, and earthy colors. And that is, it's the most physical frequency of the seven. It is the thing that you've created being in the physical world separately to you. So it's the existence of that thing. So how this shows up as a weakness where we need support is if you create amazing things and you don't tell the world about them. Maybe you're an artist and you would never put your art on a wall, let alone go and tell an art gallery. You write a book and you just put it away in a corner. It's all of those, like being proud of yourself. That's very positive root chakra energy. Okay, so 2 of the 3 ways to read the chakras. We haven't done physical, but in essence, the area of that chakra is the physical. Everything around that area is a bit more to it. I can do that more at the end, but we'll keep going for now. All right, guys. So once you have that crystal, a more simplistic way to then help yourself, because see today I've got 2 minutes. I can't say too much. I would recommend doing crystal elixirs. Now, we are all water-based creatures, as I'm sure you all know. And this, Dr. Emoto's research shows that water can be programmed, i.e. our bodies can be programmed. And again, I can share more at a later date, and it's part of the training that we do. But if we are thinking negative things, the programming looks a bit like this. If we are thinking positive things, we get these gorgeous shapes here. Now, a safe crystal elixir, okay, is basically your normal drinking water, but I invite you, whatever crystal it is that you have realized you need, the one that you picked, and now maybe you also understand why you need that crystal, you place next to a glass of water, not in it, because some crystals don't benefit from being in water. So I'm inviting you to do what is called an indirect method, which is the crystal next to the water, not in it. I can explain why not in the Q&A if you want me to, because some can, but it gets very complicated. So we're saying, next to, not in. Leave it there for 20 minutes at least, ideally longer, and then drink the water. And you are internalizing the frequency of that crystal. So I have to say the obvious caveat, I'm not telling you to drink crystals, please don't do that. Like literally, that sounds silly, I know, but I have to say that. Crystal next to water, leave the water for 20 minutes. The crystal will program the water, and then you are drinking the frequency that you need right now, but also you are reprogramming and course correcting. Do you remember that graph of the different emotions? It helps lift your emotions as well. More to it with crystal elixirs, but that is a very brief explanation. And it's just one very brief explanation of many, many different ways that we can work with crystals. Now, all of the ways here are part of the foundation course I'm inviting you all to join me on. And you even get a crystal kit from me on the day worth £25, which you'll be using on the day, and you get to take home, because I don't like taking crystals back off people once you spent the day with them. It feels a bit mean because we do connect to our crystals. when we are there together, I will go much more in depth into everything I've just said, very much the chakras, because like I said, that gives you so much information about how to work with crystals. We will do body placements, where to place crystals. It's important that you do that correctly. I cannot emphasize that enough, because you are moving your energies around. It's not something we should just start to do. You'll get I will show you how to do it, and you'll get an experience of a crystal healing. I will go through correct displays of crystals so that they work their best for you, even where to wear crystals on the body. Do not worry, it doesn't mean we've got to change your whole jewelry collection because you're wearing crystals in the wrong place, but it gives you a very good idea if you want to wear a particular item of jewelry to really amplify things for you, that you can do that. Crystal talismans are about focusing on one crystal to make change. Again, more about that. Crystal tools, there are particular crystals and particular crystal shapes that do extra work for you. We've covered crystal elixirs in like 2 minutes. There is a lot more to them than that. And crystal grids. In fact, if you are joining me for the foundation course, there is so much to share in the one day that I will be inviting everybody back who is joining me on the following Tuesday, which I think Ros will confirm in the chat, I think it's the 18th, to do an evening with me of a crystal grid workshop so you can understand how crystal grids work. They are in essence nature's first, again, we're back to vision boards. They are so powerful. And a passion of mine is teaching people things like what's really going on with Stonehenge, Avebury, the energy. So that's included with that as well. And that's also a second Q&A, because I do feel when people do courses, you go away, you've got lots of questions on the day, and you go away and think about things and you have more questions. So that's part of an extra bonus Q&A as well. So lovely, people. I'm hoping many of you would like to join us at the foundation course. Like I said, it's fully certified with the CMA. So it gives you a beautiful foundation if you're looking to work with crystals. You name it, we are going to go from like why you would work with crystals. Well, basically, I'm taking you on a journey through the day. So we start with all of the theory in the morning while you're able to sit with me and go through all of that. And as the day progresses, we kind of go from when you have first got a crystal, a new crystal from your collection, what do you do with it? How do you interact with it? How do you know what to use it with? Like what kind of tool is it? Then we'll go through all of the different ways you can work with crystals, which was kind of what was on the previous slide. And I'll take you on the journey of like showing you all of those, and it will get more and more complicated, but I promise you, you'll all go away fully able to do them all. You'll have an experience of a crystal meditation, which is a lot of people ask me, how do I really connect with crystals? That meditation shows you a particular technique that really makes a difference. And even if you feel I can't connect to crystals, kind of guarantee that that technique is going to get you there. You might need to chat with me a little bit and we'll home in your skills, but you'll be able to get there. And then everybody finishes later on in the afternoon with a crystal healing with myself and one or two of my colleagues, because there's a big enough group that we need to help each other place the crystals. But you'll get that lived experience of understanding the theory of placing crystals on the body, but you'll also get the experience of feeling the crystals on the body. Okay, that is me. We are going to be ready for a Q&A in a moment, but I believe, Rosaline, probably, is there anything else you would like to share on that one, Han?
That was wonderful. Thank you so much, Gemma. Thank you for everyone who's joined us for that. Yeah, I could listen to you all evening, but we only do have 10 minutes left. I don't believe that you missed anything, but we'll see what the Q&A shows us. So yeah, we're going to go into the Q&A now, so we can share the special treats you'll get with the MBS Academy course at the end. So the way this will work is, as this Zoom is being recorded for people who couldn't make it tonight, or maybe you want to rewatch and take notes on something that you missed, then please do feel free to come in and ask your question to Gemma within the real world. Like if you want to take yourself off mute and you want to turn your camera on, please do feel free. Just know that we're being recorded here. And if you don't feel like you want to do that tonight, there's no obligation at all. Please do just drop your question in the chat and we'll come to you. So as you are getting your Zoom hands ready, you can find that in the React button. If you just press the React heart and say raise hand, we'll see who's raising hands. And as you're thinking about your questions now, I'll just jump in, Gemma, and ask you some like practical elements of the course itself on the Friday, the 14th of November at the NEC Birmingham. I want to know, who is this course for? Is it people in a transition in their life, people who are maybe already working in the holistic industry, maybe not?
I love that question. Thank you. If you love crystals, this course is going to be useful for you. No, if you are new to them or you feel quite advanced, there's still going to be information that is there that's relevant. How I teach sometimes is different to how other people teach. So I always suggest to people, I would listen to different teachers. So you might pick up, if you're already a crystal healer, you might already pick up, there'll be information that's maybe a bit unique and different to listen into. But honestly, I would say I always try and make sure everybody comes with me. So if this is day one and you are intrigued with crystals, come and say that to me at the beginning of the day. So I make sure I take you on the journey with everybody else. But it doesn't matter where you are on your journey, it will be useful. And I like the idea of the transition. Yes, if you are feeling you're going through a lot at the moment, and I know there's a lot happening in the world, so I completely resonate with that. Working with crystals and understanding what energy to bring in at the right moment is extremely empowering. And I know when things can get quite hard, that ability to understand this is happening, therefore that's what I need, is going to make a big difference.
Yeah, I'm sure that really lands with people. Yeah, I would take this course. I mean, I'm already going to be at MBS Birmingham running around. There's going to be so many presenters doing some amazing things. But yeah, it's going to be amazing in that MBS Academy room. And just before we go, I can see a raised hand. Very good. Just before we go to Marcia, I'd love to just ask how it differs, because obviously we're online here. We've learned a lot tonight with you, but what's the benefit of being in that MBS Academy room with you in person?
Okay, so for one, being in a group setting, when a group of people are together, they've got the same intention, that does help. So if you struggle to connect to crystals, you can guarantee the group energy will help you connect. Even the tangibility of them, having crystals around you, understanding. So I'm going to show you particular techniques, especially for things like, lovely phrase, it's called energy hygiene. You wait, when you see it, you're going to love it. As soon as people start doing energy hygiene processes, it's their favorite thing. But we'll be together so I can show you what to do and I can give you hints and tips. And if there's anybody I'm like, oh, I would change that, I would do it this way, I can see you all in front of me and getting the experience of placing the crystals on the body as well. Like I said, a group, myself, two of my lovely now ex-students who also teach are going to be with me, and they will be doing that. So you'll get that experience of like how crystals work and the energy.
Lovely. Yeah, just personally, I've been on courses in cities, and when you're spat out back onto the street and there's noise of life around you, not quite ready to step back into reality yet. So the energy of the MBS festivals, I don't know if people here have come to our festivals before, but it will hold you, especially in the breaks, in the lunch break as well. It's a lovely.
Put it this way, guys, you can be in the classroom with me and then you can go and spend your lunch break staring at crystal shops or crystal stands. It's not a bad way to spend a day.
Lovely. All right, let's go to our first question with Marcy. Marcia,
Yes,
take it away.
Hello.
fine. Oh, thank you very much for this opportunity. Thank you very much for organizing it. I used to study crystals just for myself, basically, many years, especially the 1990s, the early 90s,
Yeah.
where we had lots of the Aquarius age or something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then I just came away from it. But I love them. Is there a simple simple way, and we can kind of look after them. We just wash with water if we buy them. I know you will be giving this on the course, but it's something that if we just leave them, they pick it up as everyday energies, isn't it? Is that something that
The ways to cleanse your crystals. So crystals are so if you go back to those visuals of their very stable frequencies, they actually need less cleansing than we're sometimes led to believe. But when I say that, people get upset. I think as much as they don't need it as much as we think, it really benefits us because it helps us connect to the crystals. So everybody's different. Don't feel like it's a job to do. But if you see your crystal and you're like, I feel like you need cleansing, probably it does, and probably it's a good thing. So there's 3 ways I always recommend to cleanse crystals, because yes, you can do water, but there are some crystals, these beauties, celestite is an example. If I put that in water, it would disappear. It would evaporate. So even though it looks very strong, it's even got rock on the back, that's substantial, it would dissolve in water. So to answer your question, sage is good, ethical sage if you can. Sound, because they're all frequencies, so one frequency clearing another frequency, or white light. So you would be holding so if you know Reiki, you'll be using Reiki. Otherwise, you are holding the crystal, palm of the hands, and you're just imagining white light in there.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you very
Cool.
much.
Nice to meet you, Han. Thank you for that question.
Thank you for your question. All right, there's one queued up in the chat from Deb. She asks, do cut stones and jewelry, such as emerald, that's the one I picked as well, have the same frequency as in crystal form?
Oh, good question. They do. So when they are cut, so our gemstone, the variety are the frequency of that color. So an interesting one to work with. In that context, you're going to get that highest frequency, of course, when it's the gemstone quality, but our awareness is all of that crystal holds a very similar vibration. So don't worry about feeling the pressure to get something that's maybe difficult for some. If you had a raw emerald, it is still going to be like the color, the frequency is still there. It's just a slight difference.
Lovely. Thank you for that, Deb. We've got another hand here from Florence. Would you like to come in, Florence, and ask a question?
Yes, it's me. I'm going to put my video on. Sorry about that.
Hello.
Yeah. So in when we did that experiment just now, and we chose some crystals, 2 came out to me. How would I start to work with them? Could I use them both together, or do they sort of oppose each other to use them one at a time?
Good question. So if you then saw that it was for the emotional, it was coming through as, oh, that looks like it's to help emotions, that's a good one for the elixir because you're doing things internally. If you then saw the manifesting option and it's like, oh, that's a manifest, I need that for manifesting, for bringing things into my life, it's quite good to wear those so they're constantly in your energy field and they're just making those changes.
Right.
If you've got 2, it depends on your energy. So for me, you'd expect me to have so many crystals on me. I generally use one at a time because I like to focus in. But on the flip side, I know students who are covered in crystals and it really suits them.
Right.
So it's more down to what suits you energetically. If you can work with 2, do. Or if you feel you want to bring that one out when it's relevant and put it away, then bring the next one out when it's relevant and then put it away.
Right. Lovely. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Cool.
Thank you, Florence. Unfortunately, we've reached time for tonight already. Time has raced past and we've learnt so much. So if anyone has any more crystal technical questions, Gemma is on hand at the course itself. And just to reiterate, it's in person at our NEC Festival on the 14th of November. The festival carries on Saturday and Sunday as well. And now's the time to tell you about the goodies that you get for booking on the course itself in person, the academy course. So for your ticket, you get 3 days access to Mind Body Spirit Festival. That's the whole weekend with everything that comes with it. There's the hand selected crystal kit that Gemma mentioned earlier, which is worth more than £25. There's the course itself, the access to foundation in crystals and crystal healing, which is worth £200. And there's the Crystal Grids webinar a few days later when you've had a chance to absorb all the information from the Friday at £45. So total is £302 just for £200 in payment. So there's a QR code there if you'd like to scan, or if you'd like to use the code GP-webinar at the checkout, we can drop the link in the chat. I think I already have a few times, but we can just put it here. There we go. And that will be emailed to you as well if you want to sleep on it. If you have any more questions, then please feel free to get in touch. And we really can't wait to see you there. It's going to be an amazing weekend. We've had a very busy, summer and autumn organising it. Apart from Gemma, the Crystal Whiz, we've got some amazing headliners such as Paul McKenna, Geelong Thubton, Francesca Amber, Jade Shaw, Nikki Allen, Estelle Bingham, many, many more, from sound tents, ceremony tents, wellbeing studios, yoga, meditation, breath work, aspects of healing, aura photography, psychics. There's just so much going on, as well as a very special guest that we can't announce yet. But we are here for the crystal lovers. And yeah, we look forward to seeing you on that Friday. The course will be 11:30 a.m. Gates open at the festival at 11:30 is when we kick off the course itself. And there's the QR code for you. Gemma, do you have anything left to add?
Just to say thank you for everybody who's attending live, everybody who's watching the replay. Hello, I hope you've enjoyed the evening. And those who are here, if I haven't answered your question and you're going to be at that event with me, make sure you ask me there. I want to make sure everybody gets their questions answered. So I look forward to meeting many of you very, very soon. And thank you to Mind Body Spirit for hosting me tonight.
Our pleasure. Thank you so much, Gemma, for all your crystal wisdom. We love you.
Cool. Lots of love, guys. See you again. Bye.
Have a good night, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.